Yes, we are live.
Good evening, good evening. Thanks for having us back, Stephen. Um, Looking forward to this race tonight, the Green in the rain. I hope you guys have got your boats ready. It's going to be an intense race. Um, Race went well. It was quite tricky the first few laps, but overall it was epic fun. Got a good result, and yeah, happy. Thanks for the good combos. Tonight's combo was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Okay, can you hear yourself? Okay. Tunes, how did your race go?
I really enjoyed this race. I came out seventh. At one stage, I was leading, uh, but it was great. I mean, the rain is quite difficult to negotiate. I had a bit of help with traction control, but it was awesome. Tiki was in my lobby, and he managed to come out first. He's really fast. He won by a minute, over a minute.
Yeah, he's a really quick driver. He's a really quick, talented driver. But yeah, what do you think about this race tonight? I think this is going to be an intense race. From my experience now in the race tonight, you have to be very careful on those first two laps. The guys that's going to show a lot of patience is going to do well. I literally waited for people to make mistakes and then go past.
That
The
that was my
first two laps was
strategy.
very slow.
That was my strategy as well. Wait for somebody to make mistakes because I stayed on wets for a lap longer than everybody else, and everybody that went too early on the slicks was spinning off.
Yeah. Who's in this Jaguar livery that you've got showing on your stream now?
Sticks.
The Sticks in that Jag livery. That's a good looking car, Sticks. Very nice. The sponsors on there. Or is it just a normal livery that you got somewhere? It's a good looking car.
It is a good
Yeah,
looking car.
I think the guys tonight strategy is going to be interesting because I don't know who's going to take the gamble to go off the wets first, because you need to stick on that dry line very carefully when you decide to go onto the racing slicks. Whether that be softs or mediums, we'll have to see what the guys are going to do. It's 8 laps now, the race. The first 4 laps is probably going to be rain, and then whoever's going to take the chance on lap number 5 to go to slick tires must be very careful. We'll see who takes that chance, and then also do they decide to go on mediums or softs to make them last to the end. It's going to be critical. So it's going to be
Yeah,
some interesting strategies playing out here tonight with some very fast drivers in the rain.
that's very interesting. I mean, like I could not manage to keep the softs on for 2 laps. So pool one, it's a different story. I'm sure that some of them can do 3 laps on softs.
I'm predicting I'm predicting that the guys are gonna do the first 4 laps on the wets. I'll be surprised if anyone goes to the inters. The raining conditions is just not. It's not conducive for the inters. So I think probably the guys will go for the wets, and then after 4 laps we'll start seeing guys coming in, then taking their chance of either the softs or the mediums. I predict they'll probably go to mediums to do a 4-lap stint and make it a one-stop race, because the pace of these guys are going to be very close. I don't think they'll be able to do 2 stops, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
What car were you driving?
I was driving the Supra.
Okay, I see
So
a lot
it
of
was,
the four-wheel drive guys taking inters.
yeah, the 4-wheel drive guys can probably make the inters work, but the 2-wheel drive guys don't have a chance on inters.
Yeah, I think Stevens
Um,
left the chat.
that Supra will never go around the track in that wet conditions if you put inters on it. It was like driving a boat with the wets on. So yeah, nice and full lobby we have here tonight. Seems like everyone is pitched up for the race, which is nice. And then the championship is balanced on the knife edge here. It's between RBS and Sirius Sam, I think, is the two top contenders. It's going to be interesting to see how their race goes, and who's going to push and who's going to play it safe. This is very tricky conditions. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it's really coming down now. We can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, lekker.
Okay, the race is about to start. I can change settings right now, change cars, views. Seems okay.
Exit. Yeah,
I can.
exit now maybe.
Yeah, I've got the movie cam.
Okay, great. Okay, so the guys will start forming up the grid now. I've probably discussed this before, and I can see the guys coming past, Hollywood coming past, OJ being off to the side. There we go. Even myself. Yeah, so I see RBS, Hollywood, EcoBoost, Sticks, Sirius Sam, OJJ, Bridgens, RJ, Stiganator, they're all forming up nicely. RBS obviously giving the pace. He knows where he can drop the hammer, and let's see how they get away.
They seem to be loving watching some of the replays and looking at all the liveries because it's been a long season, a lot of cars, a lot of liveries, lots of creativity.
There they put down hammer.
Apparently we don't have any sound. We can't hear Stephen.
I see that your voice is shared. Okay, but anyways, in the meantime, off to a good start. Seems like everyone got away cleanly. RBS leading the pack. Away, followed by Hollywood, EcoBoost and Sticks. Then comes Sam in position 5 at the moment. Seems like everyone got away cleanly in the conditions. The Subaru with the four-wheel drive's got a bit of grip. But I see Hollywood is still right there, 1 second behind. It's going to be interesting first lap with everybody bunched up so closely in these conditions.
I was listening to the stream right now, and we can hear Wolfie quite fine. Couldn't hear Stephen at all.
Yeah, I'm back now. I see on my PS app it has a sharing option, so hopefully everyone can hear me now.
Okay. Let's see if someone can
Yes,
just
we can hear you
indicate
now,
if-
Stephen.
There we go.
There we go, much better. So we've got obvious leading. Here's my pick for the win, being in the Subaru and one of the top drivers this season, rocking that Thank You Sabenza livery. Shout out to those guys. Some nice prizes. We're still going to do the lucky draw in the next week or so. That was for the G29 steering wheel. And yeah, some great prizes for first, second, and third overall. So my pick for the win is obvious. You guys, who's your winner tonight?
I think I'm also going to pick RBS for the win, but I think my wild card, is going to be Bridgens. Bridgens has got some
I see
awesome
Hollywood
pace.
went off there and lost some time.
Yes, he dropped back. Yeah.
I'll throw my teammate RTA Stignator in as a wild card in the Subaru.
Yeah.
He
He's
won
also
the
got
one
a good
GR4
chance.
race and was quite unlucky in one of the other GR4s.
Yes, I see RBS is opening up a slide, gap to EcoBoost, and then sticks behind. Sirius Sam sitting in a good position in fourth.
Sam needs to win this and hope RBS drops down though to fight him for the title. So he's got quite a bit of work to do. Sorry for interrupting there.
No. If you see something, you have to commentate.
Kalen's having some missing out.
Right over the back of him.
I was just looking at the chat now, and
still in 7th, Jan only in 8th.
Sorry, Tunes, you were about to say?
I was just looking at the chat now, and Kalen says he's missing out.
Yeah, definitely, Mr. Pace, we need you back. King of the Ring. I think if Kalen was in this race, my money would have been on him. Very hard to find someone who drives quicker around this track on a simulator than Kalen. At the front, KBR extending the KBR RBS extending the lead. KBR Wolfie's on the chat, unfortunately.
I wish I was there. I really wish I was there. My internet provider really dropped me this season.
I mean, big shout out for the 2 wins at the start of the season. That's still, you might have had some internet issues, but that's some bragging rights of their own.
Yeah, I must say, I can at least say I've won the first GT7 GTSA race ever. Official race.
There we go. Yeah, looking back at the pack, we've got DC Gaming representing in 10th place at the moment, Ravanti 11th, OJ JDS down in 12th. He won about 3 rounds ago, so you've got winners at the front, winners at the back, all strong drivers throughout the field.
Someone that really impressed me, Stephen, is EcoBoost as well. He's come in this season, and this is a difficult track in difficult conditions, and he seems quite comfortable in second at the moment.
Definitely, I think he's also a youngster, and he went for, obviously he's a Ford fan, but not the strongest car in the competition, so it's nice to have the variety, not just a Toyota. A lot of guys went for Subaru because of the Subaru winning the Manufacturer Cup race. Jags always had top speed.
There's a contact, sticks to EcoBoost out.
He sees Sticks waiting. He knows there was a mistake there, but obviously a lot of pain for EcoBoost. Dropping all the way down.
Just as we spoke about him. He was second,
down to 14th, so well done to Sticks for waiting. Good sportsmanship. Mistakes do happen, but obviously EcoBoost's not going to be too impressed with that, and he's got a lot of work to do to try catch up.
I just want to say one thing, Stephen. Really, that Ford, don't underestimate it. That car's impressed me immensely over the past few weeks. It's very capable. I'm honestly very surprised at the capabilities of that car. But yeah, it's a good race car.
What I don't know. The GR4 I've never been the biggest fan of. I used to use Ford quite a bit in manufacturers because I really enjoyed driving the GT40 in GT Sport.
Oh, the GR4 is a really good car. I've had some races on the LNR side against that Fords, and it's been a tough battle between the Toyotas and the Ford. And the car actually delivers quite a bit. But running at the front
So
now, I
speak,
see it's RBS leading from Sam, our 2 championship contenders right at the top, the way it's supposed to be, leading from
what's
Hollywood
the
and
gap there?
then
It's a bit hard to
Stiginator.
see on my phone.
7
It's
tenths.
just
7
No wonder
tenths,
Bobby
and
made
it's
a bit
closing
of a
in.
mistake. Or
I think Serious Sam is in the slip.
yeah, but there was a bit of a gap there before that incident. So I'm not sure, maybe ran wide somewhere, lost a second or two, very easy in these conditions. Also, obviously with EcoBoost getting nudged there by Sticks, that's put Sam up into second, but Hollywood's now back in third. Yeah, Steele's managed to slipstream Stiginator. There's a nice train there. I see Dutchman up to 6th place, Jan Ali and then Raventy rounding out the top 8 as we finish lap 1.
I
So
see
very
Stiginator making a move there. Is it Superman?
A nice
No,
move in the
Dutchman,
background
yeah.
from Stignator.
Yeah, on Dutchman.
Yeah, they're having a nice clean battle there because Dutchman must have dived on the previous corner on the brakes.
I must say, this is some top class racing from the guys. This conditions to run nose to tail like this.
But the
We've seen
second
in
lap
our
was quite
races,
backer when
it's good.
the rain stops. The wets were great here. The
Yeah,
guys in the
they
intermediates will start getting quicker as well.
They actually did do quite well the wets on the second lap. When the rain came back the second time, it felt like it was more slicker or more difficult conditions to drive in. But let's see what happens with the weather with these guys. I predict obviously the weather will stay clear for a while now, and then closer to
Yeah,
the end
it's
of this lap,
till
it
the
should
end of
start
this
rain
lap.
again.
It rains quite heavy for another lap and then dries. Just looking at the comments, I see Jean-Claude saying commentators curse. We need to get Mr. Jean-Claude back racing with us. I'm not sure where he's hiding. Mazza, hey. We've got KBR Richard saying RBS for the win. George saying where all the others. I'm not
Stiginator
sure
made
what
a
he means.
mistake. Stiginator
Yeah,
made
there was a bit of a lag there as well, it looked like. Hollywood not having the best night. Second time he's been bumped.
That promotes Dutchman up to the top 3 now, and he's in a good car for this track and for the
Yeah,
conditions. So let's see what he can pull out of that here tonight.
that GTR around here in the dry is great. It's probably my favorite car. When it was the daily race, guys were using the Viper and the GTR.
Commentators curse again. He goes wide.
I think you just must. We must just stop talking and let Toonies go, because every time we say something, the guys get involved. we say Stignator's having a great dice, no touching, and then he outbreaks himself or something happened. You jinx Sticks now.
Ravenity and Junali is having a dice here.
It looked like a bit
OJJ that.
of jumping around there from Rav as well, from his connection or the game's connection, let's say.
OJJ is again driving the high visibility car. Not difficult to spot him in these conditions. Great livery. Awesome job, bud. The guys are still very close together. I mean, first spot is only 6 seconds off the lead. Everybody's still nicely bunched up. This race is still wide open. If you make a mistake now, you're going to lose a lot of places.
It was very interesting in our Pool 3 race. I made a mistake and dropped to 13 seconds behind on the second lap when the intermediate guys had a bit of pace, but when the rain came back, I got back with under 2 seconds by the, I think it was like just on the start of the third lap. So that gap, you will see that if there's anyone on inters, they're going to start performing now, but they need to grow the gap because the wet guys are going to come back at them strongly when the rain starts. That's the fun in this combo.
Toonies, do us a favor. Stick with the in-car view and just go to top 3 guys. Let's just see what tires they've got on there. Is it wets or inters?
You can run through the pack even.
It's wets.
We got wets for RBS, Serious Sam wets, Dutchman as well, Gianelli wets. I suppose nobody would start the race on Inters unless you're running a four-wheel drive car. Ravinity with the wets, OJ wets, Bridgens, DC, and Hollywood wets.
Yeah, I think, Tunis, I think the thing is the Pool 1 guys are very close to each other in performance. It would be a big gamble to go to the intermediates in the Pool 1 race.
We got Hollywood that just went off. Sorry to interrupt you there. And Yasteel running on the Inters.
Is Yasteel running on the Inters with the Supra?
Looks like it. Toyota Supra.
Well, that is a job well done, Yasteel. To drive that car in these conditions on Inters is a job well done. I must commend him for that. But he went through lap 1 quite fine, actually.
Correct. He obviously just kept the powder dry on lap 1.
Oh, well done, Yasteel.
We got EcoBoost.
How's the front looking?
We got EcoBoost that went off again. RBS, between RBS and Serious Sam, 1.5 seconds and dropping fast. It's about 1.1 seconds right now. I'm gonna
Sam was always quick around here as well. From the early GTSA days when Kalen had his own tournament called King of the Ring. A lot of the pace guys spent many millions of hours around here.
But also,
going onto the grass there.
As the track dries out a bit and it becomes more inter territory, the BMW will perform a bit better than the all-wheel drive car. So I expect Sam to get quicker as the race progresses and it gets drier.
Yeah, gap second to third and just run through the gaps along.
Between 1 and 2, you've got 1.4 seconds. Then 2.6 to Dutchman, 2.4 to Gianelli, 1 second between Gianelli and Ravinity, 2 seconds between him and OJ. And here's a close one, OJ and Bridgens, 0.2 of a second. I think I'll stick with them. Looks like it's heating up.
Yeah, Bridgens is looking for a way past there.
Has the rain started again yet?
It has, I can hear it. And it's coming down quite a bit.
I'm on board with Bridgens. See what he can see. If anyone wants to see how to drive this track, obviously these guys are doing a great job, but on this channel, quite far down, there's a GTSA versus LNR challenge in GR4 cars with some super fast drivers running similar races to this, but obviously all in the dry. And the guys Lorenzo and what's his name? I can't think of the dude. One of the quickest GT racers in the country. The two of them ran nose to tail.
Oh, what happened there? Oh no, it's the camera angle. I thought he spun.
Yeah, and Lorenzo only managed to pass him, and then he lost it on the drag to the line down this back straight. So it was one of the greatest battles we've seen in GT in the ring, I'm sure. So check that out. Give a scroll down. Looking at the comments, Jean-Claude said he would have loved to be in this race, but work hours won't let him at the moment. Brent RBS is so fast and consistent. Jonathan Bell, go SRT.
Look at that gap between Bridgens and
GTR flying.
You're going to see that gap between Bridgens and Gianelli coming down now. Bridgens is also a really quick driver on this track, and even in these conditions, he's flying. He's probably going to put in a good lap now. I've seen some laps of him in the practice this week. He is really quick in these conditions with this car.
So we've got a nice little three-way battle at the moment here. Looks like Dutchman, Rav and Gianelli all running nose to tail. They're just a few seconds back on first and second, who also look quite close together up front. Nice selection of cars as well. We've got Nissan. What's that ahead? Looks like there's a Merc in there. I can't really see it. Phone's so small, but yeah, Yeah, it's a Merc and another Nissan, then a BM. RBS has opened the gap slightly.
See, the conditions, the track conditions is now coming back to RBS and going away from Sam a bit. RBS needs to pull that gap now, so when the track dries, that he's got a bit of a gap to work with.
You can see it's now the weather indicator or the road wetness indicator on the left there is heading towards that top bar. I think it took a little bit of fiddling, but this was my plan for the race. I didn't want to make it just a plain boring dry race, so I thought let's start in wet and have the race drying as you go, but half wet through in the sun for lap 2 just to dry it a bit to give the guys intermediates as an option. And yeah, I was quite happy how it worked out in most of from what I've heard in the other races as well.
Well, you've picked this combo perfect, Stephen. I think your conditions, everything is just perfect. And the fact that you went with the GR4s is also nice. They perform actually very well on this track. It's a pleasure to drive them.
Yeah, as badly as I was driving tonight, it was still enjoyable just going around this iconic track. You can just get lost in the flow of it every now and again.
See, RBS is looking very solid at the front. He's keeping it consistent. He's keeping decent lines. The same with Sam. The conditions just favouring RBS a bit at the moment, but everyone's still quite bunched up. See, the first 7 guys are all quite close. And then there's a race at the back here. Oh gosh, Artistiganate having a small off there, but
that's
he's
not the
joining
first
fine.
time a RTA Subaru's gone off there tonight. That looked like at least every third corner in my race.
The thing with this race is whoever is going to keep it consistent, keep it on the track, keep it safe, not make mistakes. That's the guys that's going to have the best chance. Keep it steady. Don't go too wild. Don't push too hard. Just get a rhythm and stay with that rhythm and stay on track. I saw a lot of mistakes, as you said, Stephen, in our lobby, and it costed the guys because every time they would make up the time and then a mistake, make up the time and a mistake. So these top guys just need to keep it on track, keep it consistent, and then they'll probably get a good, decent result.
We got Bridgens that caught up to Janelle.
Yeah, but now he's got a challenge to get past all these guys in front of him. It's not easy to pass. The strain is there because of the difficult conditions to pass. So let's see how he deals with that. Because he's got nice pace. It's going to be interesting battle here because they've got a nice little chain formed here.
Yeah, and that's the thing on this track. Always the hardest skill is when you're fast and you can't get past it, you've got to just sit as close as possible without driving into the guy until he makes a mistake or runs wide and leaves the gap.
Like that happened there.
And doing exactly that, getting a run on him.
The other challenge, Stephen, is when you go to your softs or your mediums is if you approach a slow guy, it's difficult to go past if he stays on the dry line because you can't you can't go past on the wet line. I expect we'll see another lap on the wet tyres.
It looks like the rain's backed off a bit. We're sitting mid-level intermediates at the moment, so this is probably, I can't see anyone's weather radar, but surprising they're not driving with it. I know there was quite a bit of heavy rain right at the end before it gets sunny, so we'll just have to keep an eye and see how the guys go.
Dutchman is really having a solid race here. He's really having a solid race. Good pace right up Sam's backside.
Yeah, making the best of that four-wheel drive.
In the conditions, yeah, definitely. Look at the water splashing. Well. This track is really wet at the moment.
Yeah. Well, it's not too wet on the racing line. They just seem to be finding all the puddles by cutting the curves and making every inch drivable possible. catch a glimpse of Jan Ali right behind there. Maybe go to the movie cam for a while there, Toons.
This is going to become an interesting race now. This whole pack is bunched up from second. There's a 2 second gap, less than 2 seconds to the leader, but then everybody is bunched up nicely. Pit strat is going to play a big role here now.
RBS has made an error there. I think it looked like he had a penalty.
He's got a half a second penalty.
Poor Sam getting very sideways.
He's going to lose a bunch of places on that straight now.
Sam gives up.
Offside penalty has been made too.
Just watching this pack come back together here. RBS making that slight mistake. It's got. Well, go to the back of this train and let's see how close. I mean, we got all the way to, looks like OJ in 7th within one little camera shot. This is after 25 minutes. What's the time gap there? 3 odd seconds.
3 seconds. Battle for first.
So how close do you want it?
Well, 2.4 seconds actually, because RBS just served his penalty.
At the front because RBS will be serving his penalty now. So
he's going to lose a bunch of places now.
I think he's 4th at the moment, which isn't ideal because while he's still in the wet conditions, we've got Dutchman taking the lead from Sam on the slipstream.
3 wide into this corner. Be careful, guys. Well done.
Now let's see what's happening 3rd, 4th. That's where the close section is. All got back into single file there. RBS dropping to 5th. Oh, someone's gone around there.
Sam was involved there. He's dropping back. Oof.
And almost spinning. There was a car sitting that went backwards.
Dutchman went off.
Dutchman. Yeah, and he's got engine damage, so it's going to slow him down for a while. And
so right now,
we missed what happened there.
Well, Dutchman spun off and crashed into the pack behind him. So I'm just going to read out the positions now. We got P1, Janali, Ravinity, RBS, Bridgens, OJ, Serious Sam, P7.
My wild card is getting into the game here. Watch out for Bridgens.
Bridgens has a ton of experience and I think he enjoys this track conditions.
He does. I think he's
not to enjoy about it. It's just a little bit damp.
RBS making a move on the inside of Ravinity.
Rav getting all sorts of shaky. I don't know if that's his connection or I think just the internet's having a bit of an issue there.
Ooh.
It's RBS going back to
Sam is pushing to get back into the race, yeah. There's a Sam back up to 4th.
We've got Jan Ali leading. And he's been flying in that GTR since the start, so with him starting in cool positions, maybe he hasn't had his chance to show the pace now that he's in front. He's got the right car.
Now we should start looking at the end of this lap. We should start looking at what's happening because the guys will start to make pits. Let's see who comes in, who takes the gamble to go on to slick tires and what tires they select. Is someone that's going to pit twice, or are they all going to go for the mediums to run right to the end?
It still looks very wet. I know we're early on the lap. I don't think I'd be stopping at the end of this lap for slicks, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's still early on the lap, but let's see what happens closer to the end. It's a gamble, and if you take that gamble, you need to ride that dry line very carefully, because if you put one wheel wrong, your whole race is destroyed.
What was interesting there was RBS he had half a second penalty and he lost a bit of time, but that put the guys on his slipstream, and serving that half a second, he went from first to fifth. So obviously there's a bit of an issue somewhere, but he's got back up to second now. But that means I also found in my race, you don't want to be in the Subaru with something fast like a GTR behind you.
And also the penalty costs you about 6 seconds if you're not stuck in traffic. It costs you about 6 seconds for slowing down and picking up speed again.
Yeah. So look here, there's Superman in 7th position, yeah, still 8th, we're both racing for the pace cars. C18 doing a good job there in 9th. We'll go take a look at the guys a little bit further back.
Yeah, we haven't said a lot about C8SN, but he's been there the whole season. He's been doing solid performances. He's been doing some good driving, and yeah, well done to him.
Dutchman recovering, he's in 10th at the moment. He's just ahead of Hollywood and Sticks. Not sure what's happened. Go a little bit further, maybe. We got that back of the train.
Yellow flag.
Engine damage on RBS.
Oh goodness, RBS went off.
That obviously wasn't the plan. The engine damage in a heavyweight isn't as bad as it normally is, but he's going to drop all the way to the back with that. Look at the sportsmanship, staying off the racing line, almost on the grass there. Yeah, that's the joys of these wet races. But
anything can happen.
I don't know what happened there, because suddenly Sam's in the lead. So what happened to, was it Jan Ali that was leading? I think it was Jan Ali, and then RBS was second. Now we've got Sam and Raventy first and second. It's actually just at the right time for them, because the track's going to start drying, so they won't be losing out to the four-wheel drive cars as well. But there's still a long way to go in this race. We're only coming up to the halfway point now.
Something must have happened to Jan Ali there, because he was driving nicely, solidly. He wouldn't have just dropped back for no reason.
Well, so I don't know. Maybe he had about a second and a half last we saw on RBS, and maybe slipped off or something, and RBS collected him or spun avoiding him. Maybe RBS tried to pass him and made a hash of it. We'll have to ask him afterwards.
Yeah, let's see what happens now. It's going to be interesting what happens now.
Not complaining.
Definitely not.
We've got one very long train or someone going off at the back there. Dutchman, I think.
It was Dutchman.
Yeah, where's RBS now? There he comes, I think, in 13th or 14th.
RBS is in 13th.
And where's DC Gaming? Is he still in the race?
He's 12 seconds behind RBS, and EcoBoost is 17 seconds in last place. DC is having a bit of a lonely race.
Job. Lonely race, looking at the times. I think me and him would have had a good dice, because I was quicker than that on my first 3 laps. It was only afterwards when I got balled behind making mistakes. EcoBoost still recovering. He did so well, but often happens when he was in second, he got hit by sticks, and then you lose focus. You push too hard to try and make it up, you make more mistakes, and your race goes downhill.
Yep.
We've got 10 cars still fighting for the win here, so anything can happen. Up front, or Sam doing all kinds of
Sam, yeah, he's going to be under pressure on this long straight now.
Look at this
Everybody
chaos.
in his slipstream.
I'm going to stick with the leaders, because they should be going into the pits right now.
Yeah. Look, there's already a bit of a dry line appearing if you look at the back there.
3 wide.
These cars clearing water.
I'd stay out another lap.
Ooh, 3 wide into this corner. This must be very careful, guys. Sam is losing out now because of the slipstream and that small little area he had coming into
Superman is off.
Straight. Oh, something happened.
That's a bit
OJ
of
is
pace
off
on
as well.
pace action there. So did he make it through there? I see one or two cars going sideways in the background. Ganali managed to hang on there. I think it was OJ
Hang on.
GTS that took the worst out of that. So Rajestiel, Dutchman, a couple other guys going into the pits.
Jan Ali is having a cracker of a race.
RBS has gone into the pits.
Yeah, well, RBS with his issue, he has to try something different now to try catch up. But it's still very wet there. Now we have our, fourth or fifth new leader of the race. We've got Raventy leading. We've had Janali lead, we had RBS lead, we've had Sam lead. So what a chaotic race, and halfway through we still have no idea what's going to happen. OJ having a bit of an issue there, dropping to 9th, Dutchman coming through with a penalty.
I'm looking at Dutchman's tyres right now. He's on Inters, fresh Inters.
Yeah, so the only issue with that, I tried doing I also made a mistake. I thought, let me try a different strategy. But as you can see, it's still very wet. Even the Inters, you're sliding off. I thought, let me do two laps on Inters on the race and then pit for softs. But the two softs, 30 seconds. The two pit stops, 30 seconds. It's really hard to make back up, especially if you make little mistakes like that.
I see Sam has quit.
Sam has quit?
What's Sam on?
Yes, he has.
Maybe pitted the wrong tyre or put on softs and realised it was too wet, or he could have just disconnected or something. That's unfortunate.
That's very unfortunate.
I don't think Sam would generally just quit, but I mean,
No,
also
I think something happened.
Go and wait, and if you did put on slicks and it was just way too wet.
Where's
8 minute?
Where's RBS? Let's see what RBS has got it on. That's the question.
RBS. I'm looking for him.
He'll be right at the back because he was at the back already.
I think I need to quit and re-enter. There we go. RBS is in P9.
Okay,
he's on
now it's
racing mediums.
Racing mediums, yeah. I thought he would go that route. Now he should stick on that line. Where is Sam out of the lobby now? Or now that you reconnected, is Sam there?
Most says shedding, so I don't know if you mean Sam just got load shed. 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock right now. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Okay, so let's run through his Ravenity, June Ollie, and KBR Bridgens 1, 2, and 3. With the track drying out,
that's a podium we haven't seen all season.
Yeah. Hollywood's making a comeback with all the issues happening. Also, Stiganator, same thing. They had some issues right at the beginning, but they are coming back into the race now.
Stig has some damage. I think it just went off. He's still on wet.
Needs to pit. Yeah. Look, the top three guys haven't pitted yet. Ravenity, June Ali, Regents, Hollywood, Stiganator. I think the first guy that has pitted is OJ JDS.
Yeah, that's true.
Racing mediums.
Because if I take a look at Stig, Stiganator's got 9 seconds between him and the leader, and then the gap between Stiganator and OJ is 24 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, there's your division between the guys that have pitted and the guys that haven't pitted. Now check that gap between OJ and Stiganator for the rest of the lap. It's going to come down if they stick on that dry line. They should pass them when they pit now. But it's very difficult to stick on that dry line. You have to be very careful.
I see Mo saying that it was a power failure, so bad luck for Sam. He's having a great race. I don't know if it would have really helped in the championship fight, just the way the points were sitting, but at least he's in the fight, so very unlucky. I
think the way we calculated it, Stephen, is if Sam won, RBS had to finish 8th or better to make sure he got the championship. So let's see what happens.
Actually, well, how it was with Sam disconnecting, obviously it doesn't matter. It could have been quite a close one then.
It could have been, yeah. could have been a real close one. Sorry, Sam, I know what it feels like, but believe me.
You and Sam can form a disconnect club.
Yes.
Do you think?
I promise you, I haven't been so angry in my life as that first race got disconnected.
Do you think that Dutchman picking Inters was a mistake?
Yes, I think so.
Not
Because
at the moment, but the problem is he's going to have to do 3 laps on slicks at the towards the end, and I'd Inters on for 2 laps and on the dry track, and they were getting cooked. They weren't finished, but
he's definitely going to have
he's
to
pretty
pit
much going to
again.
have to pit. So he needs to make up 30 seconds.
I think
It's impressive as
of these
RBS on
guys,
the mediums.
I'm liking OJJ and RBS for the win here now. They're on the right sides at the right time because the track is only going to come to them even more and more now. And they're already taking
The
the
other
gap
guys
out
still
of
have
the
to pit, but
leaders.
it's so dangerous at the moment with those wet lines. There we go. See OJ.
Did he make a little mistake? He went off the wet line.
Yeah.
RBS got past him now. Okay, so they're back in this race. You see, this is the difficult thing what we just discussed earlier, Stephen. Now, to get past now, you can't go on that wet line. You have to stick behind that car until he makes a mistake. Because if you put that slicks on the wet line, you can't.
What's impressive is RBS is on the mediums and Dutchman's on the intermediate. So, or not impressive, but if it was the other way around, he could at least try the wet line. But Dutchman's the one that's got the wet grip, and
Exactly.
he's in front.
But he just needs to stick there for now. Just need to be calm and stick with him. And then as the guys pit, he'll be back in the race.
So you just want to close up.
Exactly.
You want to
And
close
also
up,
Dutchman has got a penalty.
Correct. So there's no need to rush.
Not at all.
Okay, I'm still
I think he's going to go for the inside.
Bridgen's in P2.
My wild card is doing the job at the moment. Go Bridgens, you beauty.
Yeah, the guys at the front should be stopping now for slicks. I'll probably go for 3 laps on maybe mediums as well.
Gianelli's staying out.
Three laps you can do softs. I did 3 laps on softs earlier in our race. But you had to just manage them.
Gianelli's in wets and he's staying out for another lap. P2, 3, 4, 5 have pitted from wets and we'll be looking out for what they come out with.
Yeah, you have to check where RBS and OJJ and also your steel, where they filter out now. That's going to be the interesting question now.
Ghosting up as usual.
Always.
Sneaking his way in. You never notice your steel, you just see him and you're like, hey, how did he get to the front?
Mediums for them. Okay. I think RBS managed to jump all of them into the pits now. RBS and Yastil.
They have, and the gap between RBS on the mediums and Gianelli on the wets is dropping quite quickly. 28 seconds. It was 30 about 10 seconds ago.
That's going to come down quickly with the... Come down quickly with wet on the slick track. That's going to cook those tires. You might even battle to make the end of the lap.
Looks like Steve might have hit a wet patch.
Yeah, even with the track drying out now, you must be careful. You can't put a wheel wrong. If you put a wheel wrong, it's going to be trouble for you. But now you've got guys on some new tires coming through. I'm thinking OJ and Bridges are also still in this race. You need to now keep it on track and make sure everything works nicely.
Keep it on track's the exact word, because been talking the whole time with the rain and about not making mistakes. The track's just got half the width as it normally is now, because you've just got that dry line for a couple laps. You put one wheel on the wet while you're
Oh,
braking, and you go for a big adventure. As we see someone going sideways in the background there. I don't know if they made
yeah.
it around the
That was
corner or not.
Ravinity.
Oh, Ravanity. Oh, now he's on
No,
the wet part of the track with the slick tires. It's difficult to recover.
boy, great job getting out the way of the two cars that came through, and then gets in Hollywood's way a little bit.
Hollywood's had a bit of an unlucky season. But he's always a good and great racer, very clean, solid racer. That's too bad for Ravinity that happened now. He was having a very good race.
But that's exactly what we're talking about. Just watch out for that wet spot. So BC now running in 11th. Good job by him. Sticks 12th. Superman down in 13th. Had a issue somewhere. What's the gap to Jan Ali? Has it come down another 4 or 5 seconds already?
It's now 23 seconds, so it's gone down from that 27 that we saw earlier.
Yeah, and RBS is now gonna fly on this dry line. I think he just pushed it one lap too far because he's probably gonna commit to softs now, but it's gonna put him back in the pack, and he'll have to fight quite a few guys to gain positions again.
Well, you think you can't do 4 laps on mediums?
No, RBS will do 4 laps on mediums. What I'm saying is, if June Ali go to softs now, it will put him back in the pack.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'll have to fight his way back to the front. He should have pitted there because he was running a good strat. Oh, shit. I'll be back now.
We've got EcoBoost that has left the lobby. He was having quite a bad race.
Yeah, not his best night. It started well and then went downhill with some of those other little issues, but still a good season. Been in pool 1, had 1 or 2 issues, made his way back. Great to have new talent with us.
I'm taking a look at the gap now between Jan Ali and RBS. It's now down to 20 seconds.
Yeah. Let's see Jan Ali's front tires. That's because when those fronts go, you basically can't turn.
He's got still quite a bit of life left in them, but he's got a fuel indicator blinking.
That's awesome. So he's obviously on fuel saving mode at the moment. I don't think he's going to get to the finish with that, to the pits.
Well, the last 2 laps he has to come into the pits, put on some slicks. He might even go on softs.
You can do 2 laps on softs. Even I could just manage it, but I think, is he going to make it to the pits without running out of fuel?
Well, he's got
He's
one
not even on the
tires,
straight yet.
1 tires, fuel saving. The gap is now 16 seconds.
Sorry guys, I'm back. Bit of a work emergency.
No,
That's all right.
no work tomorrow. It's Friday.
What do they say? If you have to work on a Friday, you didn't work Monday to Thursday, huh?
There you go. So give us the gaps running down the field there. See, Steele's managed to pick up a penalty somewhere along the line. He's got fast closing Bridgens and Ojo behind him. Dutchman, I see back up to 6 now after his adventures.
Too bad he's gonna have to pit again.
Who? Oh yeah, looking at his tires, he's on inters.
Yeah. The track is going to go away from him now.
We're going to have a change at the front soon, I'm sure, because I think Jan Ali's going to run out of petrol before he makes a straight.
I wonder who's running assists in this race. We've got Bridgens with traction
Dutchman should have
control.
watched my race and seen that 2 laps on inters doesn't work.
Look, at the start of the race, Tunis, in the Supra, I had traction control in 1, just for a safety reason, just to make sure you keep it on track.
Oh yeah, I absolutely enjoy using the assists in this type of weather. There's no way that I could have controlled the car with the wets and no traction control.
There's a
I still
nice
don't know.
clear
But
dry
now
line now.
at one stage I was on map 2. I don't know how that happened, but I hope I didn't run the whole race like that.
I heard you in the chat. You said you were on map 2.
Yeah, right at the
Okay.
end, coming down the straight,
Did
I
you
was
run the
clicking
whole
through
race?
traction control 1 and map 2. I don't know when that happened because I generally don't have it on.
Okay, so let's see. Junali
I
has to
probably would
pit
have
now. He
in the
doesn't have a
rain, but I was
choice.
on the 4-wheel drive, so there's no point in that you can drive that Subaru with that GR4 without traction control in the rain.
Correct. Okay, so
On wet.
Junali is definitely into the
We
pits.
made it to the pits. I'm amazed. That's some good fuel saving there.
It was an 11-second
look,
gap.
But he lost what is it?
20
17
seconds?
seconds in
16
one lap.
seconds.
Yeah.
So we'll see where he comes out.
He's probably going to go to softs now, but yeah, he's going to lose a few spots now. I think your fight's going to be, your battle's going to be between OJJ. What's the gap between OJ, Yastil, and Regents?
So Janali just came out of the pit right now, and he is in P3
Right
with
behind.
Yastiel
Yeah.
very close by.
Yeah.
On his tail.
And then Ravanity
then-
should be also close.
I think Yas had to serve a penalty because he was ahead of OJ.
Regents made a
He's
mistake on
behind
that
him.
last lap because he was right with Yastil and now he's way back.
Yeah. But that's the thing, this track does bite, so it looks like everyone's having an adventure tonight.
Exactly, and we've been speaking about it the whole time. Whoever's going to keep it on the track and make sure they don't make mistakes. And look, even RBS, after that spun and engine damage that he has, he's now back in the lead.
Yeah, and it was quite a comfortable one, but that was just his medium stint he was flying on that lap 5 when it was still wet. I mean, I
Exactly.
think it was Dutchman ahead of him before he made his mistake on the inters.
Musa's got a great
He's
comment
still
right now of Janali on mediums. He should have been on, and I think he overfueled.
And he should have been on softs now. He's only got 2 laps. Why did he go to mediums?
OJ's off.
Yeah.
Janali's
the
off.
4-wheel drives do wear the tires quite. I mean, I'm hard on tires, so I barely made 2 laps. But,
Oh, so number 2 and 3 goes off track. Oh my goodness. OJ has recovered. He goes
Janali having a bit of a sympathy crash. He still says he'll take that all day long.
Oh no, Bridgens.
Bridgen's gone off as well.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Same place
My
as
wild card.
Janali and OJ.
My wild card just dropped out. OJJ
My
has
wild
been
card
also
just
having
passed
a
your wild
lacquer
card.
race. Yeah, he did.
Hey, Wolfie.
Everyone put
Nah,
F
you
in
should
the
we
have-
should
chat.
have put money on it.
First 10. I would have
Okay,
been
but-
worried until now.
Look,
He's been driving really well.
I must say, there's some guys that've been having good seasons. I personally was having one of my best seasons until the
Oh, no.
issues, but now we're sitting with OJ,
Oh,
Regents.
he's at DC having an adventure.
A lot of guys are having solid seasons, and that really impressed me. OJ has had a solid season. Regents, Yastil, guys that constantly, deliver good performances.
RBS opening up the gap.
OJ won at Spa with his strategy in the wet.
Yeah, OJ had an awesome race at Spa in the wet. And now look at it, it's another wet race and he's in the top 3 again. Seems like he's got a bit of a knack to figure out the strat and keep it on track.
Dutchman has left the chat.
That's unfortunate for Dutchman. Where was he sitting there? About 8th or 9th?
I think 7.
Yes, and now it's 2 laps of concentrating to make sure you get to the end without making mistakes. A lot can still go wrong on this track.
Yeah. Well, one mistake and you touch a wet spot, you're in the wall, you've got engine damage, and there's 15 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, just while we're having a quieter moment with a few gaps now with all the incidents, Toons, tell us about what Sabenza does and Give them a shout out for us.
Sabenza is a technology company, and what we do is install Wi-Fi in minibus taxis so that passengers can jump on, join the Wi-Fi hotspot, and they're able to look at content. So there's a ton of education, there's a job portal, some videos, some more entertainment, and yeah, they can look at, they can use the Wi-Fi, and it is an ad-supported model, so you will get open access to internet, provided you purchase open internet access using the Sabenza Bucks and an in-system credit system.
Yeah, you're still there. You're breaking up a little bit. You're just looking at the comments. George saying he mistakenly put hards on in his pits. And then Donnie saying thanks for the sponsorship this season, Spencer, with the clapping head. So, yeah, definitely shout out to those guys.
Shout out, Donnie.
I'm just looking here at Stix's tyres. Do you think he's going to get to the end on those?
There's no way. It's got 2 laps to go.
That's like how I did. That's what I did with them on 2 laps, and on my Subaru, and the fronts were pretty much cooked coming into the last chicane. So he's still got another lap and a half to go on those.
When did he pit? He pitted on lap 4, I believe. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I can guarantee you won't do 4 laps on the softs. I've tried it. 3 laps is the max you'll get.
Yeah, he needs to pit and put another set on for the last lap. Which means DC and Superman might catch him.
Well, DC is running on
up in 3rd place.
DC is running on mediums, and his mediums are almost done. I don't think he can do an 8th lap on this. I think he's going to be waiting for that countdown timer.
He'll be push it through, and what's he, a minute behind, minute and a half, so that might just save him.
Yeah,
if he gap there.
Well, I mean, if DC continues on this path, I mean, he'll be properly into the danger zone.
Yes,
28 seconds.
Is really past the danger zone.
28 seconds to OJ from RBS. So the gap is opening up.
Yeah, once this track gets dry or RBS gets into a good rhythm, you're going to struggle to chase him.
But you're still in Unali.
On the daily, just to throw it out there, on the daily, without pushing for qualifying, I was 2 seconds quicker than him.
You monster. Well done.
But yeah, that was a fun daily, but all dry, so you just jumped in the GTR and did laps. I think I was in the 706 and he was 708. I'm sure if he put practice in, he probably could have done more. The issue with when this is a daily and also with having qualifying is it takes so long just to do 1 lap. And you make a mistake, whatever. I'm not a time trial person anyway, so I just go do a lap, and if I join the race and there's enough time there's normally like just enough time for one lap, because you don't have to roll out the pits. So I'd go do 1 lap and I'm like, hey, that one was a good one. And then you go again waiting for the next race, or you join the next day and there's 10 minutes, so you quickly do 1 lap and improve.
Yeah, improve slight, but make a mistake somewhere else, whatever the case might be.
For the guys listening that do daily races and they want to improve their SR ranking, the best thing to do is on the Monday pick 1 race and then just focus on doing qualifying for an hour, maybe an hour and a half even. Get a good time, start the rest of your races near the front, and then you'll get wins, podiums, and bring your DR up and jump out of those lower pools. So nice.
Yeah, that's some good advice. It's shaping up to be a nice battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th here, with those guys close to each other. I think they're going to battle now hard on this last 2 laps. On the last lap basically to get that 2nd place.
Oh, yes,
they're all close together.
We haven't senior.
There goes us. There goes us still. Yeah.
It was OJ and
Generally. Still going to be a good battle here because they're competitive cars and they've been running good pace, both of them. So yeah, let's see how this battle pans out closer to the end of the lap now and see who takes that second place.
What's OJ's tyres looking like? Because Jan Ali obviously pitted, but he's got fresh, they're mediums, but no wear at all almost. So he's sorted even after his pit stop. Maybe he should be recovering second year.
Yeah, look, the wear now, looking at OJ's tyres, he's still fine because you've got the same amount of grip until that white bar's gone. So they're basically on the same sort of tyre now. So let's see. It's going to be all about pace and knowing the lap and who's going to push the hardest now.
What you do if you're Jan Ali is you just get onto his bumper, sit there. Either he makes a mistake and you go past, or you slipstream him on the final straight.
Exactly, that should be the game plan, yes.
No plan to push. No need to over push and make a mistake yourself.
Yeah. Just keep close to him until you hit that straight and do the slipstream. And in the GTR, he's going to have a good chance to do that slipstream and go past.
We've got Raventy running in 4th. We are still 5th now. Stignator 6th. Hollywood 7th after his adventures. Eddie just holding his 8th place, sitting in the midfield, doing his thing as usual. It's still tricky out there, but I think the guys have got past the most dangerous part.
Yeah, it's just conditions are improving all the way now to the end. I think that spin sort of put RBS in the zone because he's flying at the moment up front.
It looks like Styx is on auto drive because his tires are completely worn out and he's got his hazards on.
Yeah, we said it was going to happen. I think he's going to get saved.
Battle for P2.
At least he didn't rage quit.
This is going to be your battle to the end of the race right here. OJ versus June Ali. This is going to get exciting, guys.
So RBS doing a 7:13 last time around. It's a quick lap, but it's not the lap record.
Oh, June Ali just went onto the wet patch and he lost a bit of time.
Yeah, you've got to be careful coming back on there as well. The tires will cool. You can't see it, but with that dash app that you buy, you do lose grip when you go on wet or grass for a little while. So he's now got 3 seconds almost to make up. Might have just blown second place.
That might have been the move that cost him, yes, you're right. And that it brings Ravinity right into it because Ravinity is not a long way back from him. 3 seconds, so he's right in the middle between OJ and Ravinity at the moment.
Yeah, still I see they had a penalty, but he's quite far ahead of Stignator, so I think he's going to be safe in 5th. He's just gone over the hour mark a little while ago. Nice to have a longer race for a change if you can make up, like RBS, make up from a mistake.
The Steel has been putting in a consistent performance as always, so that's good. Stignator is recovering back into 6th place after his issues here. There's a yellow flag, so who went off? Is it
Ravinity?
I see Rian says in the chat that Toonies, we're waiting for that Kenny Loggins chair. I don't know if you know which one that is. Footloose.
I gave him. I spoke about the danger zone with DC. That's as close as you're gonna get to me singing on stream.
Okay. Come on, give us a song there.
Ravinity had some engine damage.
But he's
We're back with the battle of Jonali.
Steel right on him. Jean-Ali is now in a very good position. He should just keep calm, stay behind him in this corners, and then slipstream him on the
Yeah,
straight.
that's a perfect pace. You just don't want to do what he's doing now, looking up the inside of this turn.
And there goes
Don't
AJ, get a bit wide on the wet. He's got a perfect opportunity now. And RBS is going to take the win.
Well, thank you, Sabenza livery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Lovely.
Sabenza,
Thank
for
you.
the sponsor. Well done, RBS.
RBS also had an issue with the disconnect as a race started early on in the season, and he is almost ready to quit. So, well done to him for coming back. He gets
Side by side for second and third on the back on the last straight. There's a big battle going into the final sector here for the second spot.
Oh no.
Side by
breaks
side.
where.
Oh no, that doesn't
I
sound
heard, oh
good.
no, that doesn't sound good, and it's OJ that makes the error.
Well done
I
to
think
June
other
Ali
than
coming back.
strategy, Yanali deserved that second.
Definitely.
OJ DS fighting for it, but that one line with the wet on the brakes obviously caught him out there a little bit. Great third place.
Well done to first,
Valenti
second, and
hanging on to
third.
fourth. Yeah, I was just saying, shout out to RBS for his season. He also had some adversity like Sam disconnecting, yourself, Wolfie, a couple trips down to pool 2. Steele, I think, also dropped down, but overall, I think that confirms him as the champ for the season. So, a nice prize
I
on his
think
way,
so, yeah.
on the way to him.
Congratulations to RBS for winning the championship, I think.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that drive tonight. Maybe not the mistake, but just looking, Stignator's dropped behind Hollywood, so I don't know if he made an error or just ran out of tyre.
After all the excursions Hollywood had, he also made a good comeback and got a decent result in there. So congrats to those guys finishing the race.
Yeah.
We should be closing down on
wild card.
On the timer.
Yeah, they should mostly all finish.
Thanks to Sabenza, the sponsor. Thanks for organising it, Tunis. We appreciate it. Thanks, Stephen, for a wonderful season. It was good fun. It was fun racing with all of you guys. Congratulations to the winners. RBS, well done on getting that championship done after your issues you had early in the season. And then well done to all the guys that competed. It was fun. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have championships like these.
Yeah, thanks for the
well
season.
Thanks to the guys listening for having to deal with our voices the whole season, on and off. Tooney's helped, Triv's helped me out, thanks to you guys. Can't remember I think there might have been one or two other people that also joined in for a chat, but yeah, we watched Sticks cross the line. I think he is driving this last bit, but very slowly. Thanks to everyone for the season. Keep an eye out for the final points. Bragging rights if you came 34th and your mate came 35th. And then we'll have a lucky draw for all the guys that did 7 or more races and give away a G29 soon.
That's great. Thanks for the season, and thanks to all the drivers that I raced against.
Good stuff, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Have a lucky evening.
Congrats, RBS.